dealing with pyramids today. So the volume of a pyramid is given to us by the formula. Volume is equal to 1/3 times the area of the base. So we're going to use a big B to represent the area of the base. Make sure you get this down on your note sheet. Times the height of our solid. So we use a big H to represent the height of our solid.
Did that confuse you?
So let's work a few problems with the volume of a pyramid. So once again, our formula is the volume is equal to 1/3 times the area of my base times the height of my solid. For this first problem, I have a triangular pyramid. So I have to use the formula for the area of a triangle, which is 1/2 base times height, this being the base and the height of the triangle. And then I still have to multiply this by the height of the solid to get the total volume of the pyramid. So now we're just going to plug the values in. Now we know that for a triangle, our base and height of a triangle must be perpendicular to one another. Well, when we look at this base, we see a right angle mark, and we know that a right angle, that's our indication of perpendicular. So we have a right triangle here. When we have a right triangle, we can use the two legs of the triangle as our base and height. And since it's just multiplication, it doesn't matter which one's the base and which one's the height. So I've got 6 and 8 as my base and height of the triangular base. And then the height of my whole solid is indicated here as 10 centimeters. So now I just multiply this out. So again, it's multiplication, order doesn't matter, I have all multiplication here. So if I do 1/3 times 1/2, that's a 1/6. 6 times 8 is 48. Times 10. So when I multiply this all out, I get 80 centimeters cubed for the total volume of this pyramid. All right, for the volume for a pyramid is volume is equal to 1/3 times the area of my base times the height of my solid. In this case, I have a square base to my pyramid. So the formula for the area of a square is just length times width. And then I multiply this by the height of my solid to get the volume of this pyramid. So I have 1/3. The length and the width of the base are both 10 since it's a square. And then the height of this pyramid is 5 inches. So again, I could just punch this in my calculator at this point. It's easy for me to say 10 times 10 is 100. So I want 1/3 of 500 because I know that 100 times 5 is going to be 500. So when I punch that on my calculator, I get 166.6 with a line over the top inches cubed for my total volume. So that means I have 166 2/3 inches cubed. You must have that line over the top or a mixed number or an improper fraction here. This is 2/3. Okay, so now let's talk about the surface area of a pyramid. So for the surface area of a pyramid, my formula is going to be surface area is equal to the area of the base. So big B is still representing the area of the base. Now the biggest difference between pyramid and a prism that we've dealt with before is that a pyramid only has one base, not two like the prism. And remember, in the prism, we had to add the faces to this. Well, those faces look a little different in a pyramid. So this equation is going to look a little different. We're going to have 1/2 times P times a cursive L. And I'm going to show you what these represent. So again, that big B represents the area of my base still. The P stands for the perimeter of my base. And this cursive L stands for my slant height. And we dealt a bit with the slant height already, but we will discuss it more as we do a few problems here. Okay, so the surface area of my pyramid, we said, is the area of the base plus 1/2 times the perimeter of my base times my slant height. The first thing we need to do is identify what polygon our base is. So our base is a square. So the formula for the area of a square is length times width. So in this case, we have our length and width are both 9 miles, since it's a square base. We have 1/2 times the perimeter. Perimeter is always just adding all the sides together. Well, it's a square, so it has 4 sides, and they're all 9. So 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9. And then our slant height, as you can see, the slant height is a little different than the height that we had when we were dealing with volume. It goes along the slant, what we would call the face of this pyramid. It does not go down the middle of the pyramid like the big H that we use for volume. So we're going to put the slant height in. It is 10.1 miles. So our total surface area here, we're going to plug this in our calculator. We've got 9 times 9 is 81, plus 1/2 times, let's see, 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 is 36, times 10.1. Now be careful, there is a plus sign in here, so you don't just multiply straight across here. You do have to add these. When we add this all together, we get 262.8 miles squared. Again, surface area is area, so it's units squared. Okay, we're going to do one last problem for the surface area of a pyramid. Once again, our formula is the area of the base plus 1/2 times the perimeter of the base times the slant height. In this case, we have a triangular base. So our formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 little b times little h, representing the base and the height of the triangle itself. So now we just need to plug in the base and the height of our triangle so we can see that we have an equilateral triangle here. All three sides of the triangle are labeled as 9 inches. So I'm going to use that as my base. And then I have a height of my triangle noted. See the perpendicular mark, because we know that the base and the height of a triangle must be perpendicular to one another. And it is 7.8 inches. Perimeter, again, we just add our sides together. So 9 plus 9 plus 9. And our slant height goes along the face. It's perpendicular to the base here. And it is 6.5. So I'm just going to simplify this, punch it in my calculator, and I get 122.85 inches squared for the total surface area of this pyramid.